but I do follow Dr. Bellman, and he follows me, and that's why I do like him, because he actually cares how his patients feel. That's just total bullshit. It's just total garbage. Men need testosterone. It's so important. Testosterone is not a stimulant. It's not like caffeine or nicotine or cocaine. Good point. Good video, Dr. Bellman. Appreciate that. Play that one. This is another good video, but I have kind of a different take on this one. He's a doctor. There's certain things he can do and he can't do.
Yeah.
And so we'll get into that part of it. He may have clients doing that, but they're doing that on their own and not through him. And here's my crazy conspiracy theory on why. We have our Make America Great Again segment. Well, let's start with something fun. I mean, how many people get to say that they wrestled in front of the president? I'm a Nazi. Secret Nazi. That's me. I'm a part of a cult. So I had that. And I also, we're going to go back to Tesla and Musk again. He just didn't get the message that, dude, everybody thought you were a joke. Literally a joke. I don't know why they think it's a good idea to challenge us this way. And it's them making the challenges, them making the threats, and we're not standing for it anymore. This doesn't end well unless it ends. Can't just report the fucking obvious.
I don't care what a critic got to say, I got them picking up the pieces.
Just a motherfucking jump. Just go. Let's fucking go. This is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy. And the other fucking guy in the room. Behind all the controls, making it all happen. Making it look good for you guys. And we have so much more coming. You have no idea. We are the best equipped shitty show on fucking all podcasts, man. We have the best shit. We do, man. And Chase is here. Chase, how are you?
What's up, man? I'm doing pretty good. It's a
We
beautiful
do
Sunday, man.
For the least listened to podcast. I mean,
Got some good quality stuff in here.
we have some quality ass shit. Now, if we
agree.
just could find a quality ass host.
No, the quality's there. It's just it's the exposure. It's the exposure. I wanted to ask you something really quickly.
Yeah,
Because I know we
sure.
were talking about the aura rings yesterday.
yeah.
Is that what's on your finger by chance? Or
Okay. So I wasn't sure, and I wanted to make sure. So I actually did order the Aura ring.
Okay.
But I wasn't sure what size to get.
Okay. Yeah.
And so instead of like going to a jewelry store and trying to figure it out, they can send you a little package, and they sent me the package yesterday, and I opened it up last night. So 2 different sizes on my right index finger. This is a size 13.
Okay.
Seems good, not too tight. You know, if I put this 12 on this hand, then I can't
Like bend the finger.
bend it as much.
Yeah.
And it's weird. Like, you think these 2 fingers would be the same size, wouldn't you?
You would
think?
assume so, yeah.
But that's not the case. No, this one's a size 12 and this one's a size 13.
Is there a specific
So,
reason
and
you
this-
got white? Or is that
Well,
just what
they all came white.
Gotcha, okay.
And then, the real ring is I ordered some whatever nice brushed color
Gotcha,
or
okay.
whatever.
Okay.
One
That's
of
what
the
I was a
better
little
ones.
curious about was because I,
Yeah.
when I was setting everything up, I saw the white rings and I was like, I've never
And
seen
I
you
figured
wear
I'd
white.
put them on both and just wear it
And
to
see which
see
one's
how
more
it
comfortable.
feels and which is more comfortable, and choosing which one.
That's dope. Let me know how that goes
You
because
know-
I also plan on. I got into that and I
Did
also
you?
plan on getting one of those.
I'm leaning towards this hand.
okay.
But it's weird because, like, I now sometimes wear a pinky ring
hell
on
yeah.
there. I got my little gangster
Hell
ring
yeah.
there going on.
No, I love a good pinky ring.
Yeah. So, and it's cool to have this whole set to be able to try.
Yeah,
remember,
I didn't
like-
realize they would send you an entire set.
Yeah.
so you can like
it's-
figure out which
yeah,
one's best
it's
for
like from size 6 to, I don't know, 15
Whatever
or
it is,
whatever.
yeah.
Like, it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yes.
I was.
you. So far,
definitely
like,
impressed.
because you've had them on for what, a day now?
No, it
Or
was
half a
last
day?
night.
Oh,
yeah,
last night,
half
okay.
a day.
So
half
did
a
you sleep
day.
with them last night?
Yeah. Yeah, I left him
Was
on or
it
something.
comfy or like yeah?
No problem.
Nice. All right.
No problem.
All right. Dope.
Because that's the whole, when I have the ring, I'm going to wear it when I sleep. So I get
Yeah.
that sleep information.
Exactly.
That's a big part. That's what I'm looking forward to most of all
Exactly. Yeah.
is that. And I don't know what it does as far as tracking your blood pressure and stuff, but Dawn did buy a blood pressure cuff.
Okay.
So we have one that we can do that too occasionally. I don't really like doing it every day because I don't want to be that focused on it. Remember,
If you
you get
concentrate
what you
on it,
focus on, you know what I mean? But we want to make sure that with the new med that it's not dropping my blood pressure too low, and I had always been on the high end of normal anyways.
Mhm.
That was just where I've lived. That is my normal, is the high end of normal.
Yeah.
Not outside of range or where there's concern or stuff. And I'm surprised some days how good my blood pressure is because
some stressful
people
days out
I
there.
have the people I have to talk to some days, it is a thing.
No, I feel you.
All right, let's get into this. I am super excited to get into what we have to talk about today. And he's I don't follow many people on TikTok,
Okay.
but I do follow Dr. Bellman, and he follows me, and we agree way more than I think he initially thought we would. I do some things, that he doesn't do. He's not working with athletes or people who want to do cycles. He's working with people
Like everyday
who,
people.
yeah. I mean, and I work with everyday people, but people who are looking to address their low testosterone.
Gotcha.
And it's not just a number thing. It is a number and how you feel. And that's why I do like him, because he actually cares how his patients feel. Where a lot of your practitioners, especially if they're PCPs, he's a urologist at University of Southern California. And a lot of your PCPs, especially, just stick by these numbers like they're in stone in black and white. And that is just not the case. These numbers of what is considered high and low, what's considered the normal range, is literally different for almost every laboratory. So wherever you send your blood work to, they're all going to be different. And some of them over the last 10 years have changed their numbers. And not surprisingly, they're telling us now that the numbers even lower are now normal. And that's just total bullshit. It's just total garbage. Men need testosterone. It's so important for their overall well-being and everything that goes with it. That absolutely men should be having this checked out. So let's start. This is a question that I get quite a bit, and I just saw he had just posted a video earlier this month on it, and it's not real long. And I thought it would be good to share and talk about, and why I agree so much with this particular one.
With men who are on testosterone, who have been feeling great, and they've done really well, and they've been on it for years, they'll email me and say, Doc, for the last week, my libido has been low. What's going on? Can I do a blood test? We do a blood test, their testosterone's 1,000. What's going on? Why do I not feel a higher libido during this week? So the body is a complicated machine. It's a complicated computer. It has to do with your testosterone, but your blood pressure and your relationships and stress and anxiety and mood and financial strains and familial strains and a whole bunch of other issues. So when it comes to how men's health and how they feel, if you're not feeling great on a given week or two, don't jump to conclusions that your testosterone is a problem. Your body is complicated, and generally speaking, when we talk about benefits of testosterone, it's in general terms over weeks, if not months. And we're all entitled to get into a funk. We're all entitled to not feel as good for a period of time. And don't flip out and don't, as they say, throw out the baby with the bathwater. If it's worked for you and you're having a bad little period or episode, relax. Probably going to be fine.
It's just life. And as good as treating your low T is, there are other factors. What your diet is. And sometimes our diet is better than at other times. You know, I've even said here recently to Dawn, you know, that I need to focus a little bit more and really dial things in a little bit more. And because that absolutely can affect how you feel. So it's diet, it's, you know, work related stress. So your job, relationships, that, you know, potential stress there. This is not a, excuse me, when you feel like, well, maybe I had more energy and I just don't feel that energy anymore. Excuse me. That's what the bubbles do. Uh, it's just because you're not feeling it at that moment, it doesn't mean the testosterone is not working or that, you know, you got a bad bottle or something like that. That's just not it. It's literally just life. Everything else, like you said, if it's never a bad thing to get blood work just to check, but when everything checks out, you know, it's something else. And people want to focus on, well, it's the testosterone. No, it's just, you've also got to remember that for years, many times, men have been dealing with low T and the things associated with that, all those symptoms where they didn't feel as good. And in a month, that turns around if it's done right. And now they're feeling great like they haven't felt forever. Well, you're not going to have that same euphoric feeling 2 years later. And the reason is this has now become your new normal. You get used to it. You when you first made the change and started treating it, you remember what it was like to feel bad. Think of it like a woman who has a baby and they're like, "Oh my God, like the pain and oh my God." Well, guess what? They forget to some extent
To a
what
certain
that
extent,
was,
yeah.
or they wouldn't, if that wasn't true, they wouldn't have more kids. But it's the closer you are to that period of time, it's no different even with nutritional supplements. If people felt a little bit of difference with the nutritional supplements, like what I use the Thrive and feeling more, you know, energy and just better overall well-being. And, you know, there is this little Thrive effect, and it can happen in a day or it can happen in a month, but it happens at some point where people are like, oh, this is why those people like Thrive. This is really good. And you don't really get that with other vitamins. And for some reason, this just does, because when you fill all of your nutritional gaps, then your body has the fuel to work its absolute best. But even with that, eventually you've created a new normal. So it doesn't mean just because you're on testosterone or you take some supplement, you know, these are not stimulants. Testosterone is not a stimulant. Okay. It's not like caffeine or nicotine or cocaine, not like that stuff. All right. You're just creating a new normal, which is good. But that doesn't mean after a hard week and some overtime and your boss bitching in your ear and your wife complaining because she doesn't see you or whatever, that you're not going to want a nap. Okay. you, you may still want a nap. Okay. It's totally normal. And just understand that that's normal. But that these things, testosterone or even supplements, are giving you the best opportunity to be you, your best opportunity to be at your best. And my ability today, on a scale from 1 to 10, maybe my best today is an 8. And other days it's a 9. You can't have this expectation that every day is a 10. It's not that case. But you want to give yourself the best opportunity to be your best every day and on a regular basis. So I was really happy to see that he did a video like this addressing this, because it's something that I talk a lot with people when, they're unsure. Am I still getting the benefits or not? Well, one of the things you can do to figure it out too, stop. And I never recommend stopping testosterone. But if you don't think it's helping, stop. See how you feel in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then you'll be like, "Oh fuck." Because it's like a good example is I've shared with everyone, one of my favorite supplements of all time is Move, because I'm old and joints and stuff. When I am on target and disciplined and taking the Move on a regular basis daily and taking it correctly, it takes about 5 days of me not being on it, and then I'm like, oh fuck. Like I absolutely notice the difference. So even though I still may feel some discomforts when I do take it, it's way worse when I don't. So you got to have, that's what I'm saying, where you got to have that contrast. The Move product is a great product, but it's not a pain pill. That's not what it is. Okay? It helps with the glucosamine, chondroitin, the MSM. Those are the 3 main ingredients you want in any over-the-counter joint supplement. And this has all 3, and it has it in a form and in a way that your body's going to absorb it. Not a big hard horse pill, or, there are some companies that make a liquid, which is fine as long as it has all 3 actually in the product. And I know that the Thrive is, and I know that it's checked by a third party to verify that what's on the label is in it. So I know I'm getting good product. I'm not saying they're the only one, but I've given you the criteria of what to look for when you're researching these different companies and what's going to be best for you. And if something else works for you, use that. I'm totally cool with that. Totally cool with that. Use what works for you. But good point. Good video, Dr. Bellman. Appreciate that. And I love that. So, but I did think it was funny. He pointed to the 1,000. He pointed to a number.
Okay.
And, sometimes he gets on me about the numbers. It's not like, I agree with you, brother. It's not all about the numbers. But your colleagues make it all about the numbers.
Gotcha.
And don't consider that in a way. But, for his purposes of this video and addressing it, well, he can't just go by feeling too, because because that was the idea, is the feeling in this case. But the numbers suggest that things are in a good place. So thank you again. And we have another one from Dr. Bellman, another short one, right?
Yeah.
Let's play that one. This is another good video, but I have kind of a different take on this one. And I'm not sure. Him and I agree on the first part, but him and I, we're gonna. He's a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain things he can do and he can't do,
yeah.
And so we'll get into that part of it. That I think is kind of the difference. So Let's play this one.
So you're getting surgery. Should you stop your testosterone therapy? So if you're on testosterone therapy and you're getting surgery, common question is, Doc, what should I do? Should I stop beforehand? So the short answer is no, don't stop. If you're going to have surgery, you're going to have anesthesia, make sure that your blood's not too thick, so make sure your hemoglobin and hematocrit are okay. If you're going to have surgery, a lot of guys on testosterone have orthopedic surgery. They have a meniscus or a shoulder or a knee or a hip. It's important to stay on your testosterone because it'll help your recovery. However, what's important to know is lower your dose.
Okay, stop right there.
Being on testosterone replacement.
This is absolutely, I totally disagree with, and would love to have a conversation with him. So, Dr. Bellman, you're always welcome to come on the show. You're always welcome. We'd love to have you. But here's why I disagree with that. Now, I do tell people the same thing about surgery. There's no good reason to come off. But here's the thing. I have clients who are doing cycles. Now, I have clients that are just doing testosterone replacement therapy. I have clients that are doing more than testosterone replacement therapy, so they're using higher doses of testosterone. He may have clients doing that, but they're doing that on their own and not through him. Okay? And he's not mentioning this on whether it's these people, and I'm sure he knows that they're doing that if they are, but he's not mentioning that. He's talking about TRT. So here's the thing. You do not have to be somebody who's working out to address your low T issues. It's not just about going to the gym. Now, the benefits of going to the gym when your testosterone levels were low and now they're higher, the benefits of going to the gym is gaining and maintaining your muscle. And you're going to have a better chance of being in shape. You're going to have a better chance of losing weight and adding muscle because your hormone levels are appropriate. Okay. But that's not the only reasons to address someone's low T issues. Okay. That they want to go to the gym. And so, since that's the case, they should just stick with whatever their TRT dose is. They shouldn't reduce it. Now, who should reduce their dosage? The guy that's into a 15-week cycle, and 8 weeks in, he's going to have a surgery done. When he starts that surgery, he should drop down to a TRT dose for a period of time during his recovery. Why? Because that person that's doing the higher dose absolutely is at the gym. He is not going to be as active for sure. So why waste it? Why waste it at that higher dose? Drop down, come to the TRT dose. And I think I've said that in various videos about myself when I've had issues where I was in a cycle and I've had a surgery or some other health issue come up where I have dropped down to a TRT dose. And, you know, there can be other reasons I drop down to a TRT dose. I mean, I don't stay on a cycle dose year round, but I'm just saying that is a good reason to do it at that point is then. His clients or the people that he's talking about, that's not the case. Those people, he can't prescribe a cycle for clients. That's not what they're allowed to do. It doesn't mean he doesn't have people on it. And I don't know what the ramifications of him talking about that or not are, or if he's allowed to. But again, he may be aware, and there are good doctors out there. Like my doctor knows that I do cycles and I also do TRT. He's well aware of it. And so anytime I want, blood work or anything related to anything I'm doing, he's all about helping me out and getting the information to make sure I'm doing things as good or as healthy as possible, just like Dr. Bellman suggested, with your hemoglobin and your hematocrit and checking those different levels. Now, you should also probably be taking a fish oil supplement pretty much every day. That's good for everyone. I mean, even you, Chase, if you said, Troy, what's a supplement that, somebody who's natty should be taking, that would be a good supplement that I would tell you to take. And that's not a Thrive supplement either. It's over the counter. There's a premium brand of Kirkland at Costco. That's what I take.
It's a good bottle.
Yeah.
Those are the ones I use.
Yeah. You take one a day. It's good. That's something good for everyone to do. All right. And it helps keep the blood thinner as well. So just know that, like, for these purposes, there should be no reason at all to reduce your TRT dose just because you may be more inactive physically as far as activity, going to the gym or exerting yourself in some kind of physical way like that. That I absolutely, and I'd love to hear his explanation otherwise, because why wouldn't you want to keep your testosterone levels at the higher end of normal all of the time, regardless, especially if there's no risk related to the surgery? And I've had this happen. I've had people that have, but I've had some people that didn't tell me that they stopped taking it until 3 or 4 weeks after the surgery. And I'm like, no. No, I'm really like that. Yeah, I do say that, like that really high-pitched voice too. Yeah, don't do that. There is no good reason to do that. Bring that fucking needle to the hospital if you have to. Okay, have your wife slip it in, your girlfriend, whatever. There's no good reason for you to skip your TRT shot or to reduce it at that point. If you're on a cycle, 100% agree. Drop it to the TRT dose. Let's finish the video with it then.
Especially if you're having orthopedic or spine surgery, it's good for the rehab. Your muscles will be stronger. Your physical therapy, your recovery may be even quicker. But because you're not going to be as active, you're not going to do workouts, take at least a third less of a dose of testosterone. So don't stop your therapy. Make sure your hemoglobin hematocrit isn't too high. Stay on your testosterone, especially for orthopedic surgery, but lower your dose, because you don't do as much, your testosterone needs won't be as much.
Again, your testosterone needs won't be as much related to building muscle if you were on a cycle dose. But besides that, it's just life. Because let's say somebody is not on TRT.
Okay.
And their normal testosterone level is at 900. Very good. They have a very good natural testosterone level, and they're going in for an orthopedic surgery. Are they going to make them drop that to 600? Are they going to give them something to decrease their testosterone level? Fuck no.
Is there a thing for that?
They're not going to do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But is that a thing? You can decrease some people's testosterone?
I'm sure
Well,
you can.
like testosterone blockers, I guess. Okay, never mind. Sorry.
Yeah, you could do something but it would be,
stupid,
you don't do that.
Yeah.
You just don't do that because there's no reason to. So if there's no reason to reduce somebody's natural production of testosterone, if you're getting it through a needle, why would you do it then too?
Gotcha.
It just doesn't make sense, right? People just got to apply common sense here. So I just wanted to put that catch there. I think overall what he says is good if it was in the context of somebody doing a cycle or taking testosterone at all. Like, don't stop. I agree with all that. I just don't agree with dropping a TRT dose lower. Because why? Because that third is going to do what? And if, let's say, there would be very little difference. So then what you're saying, it's the matter of money. It's a few bucks. How much are you going to save? $10 in a month by dropping it? Like, no, there's no good reason to do it. And health-wise, there is nothing negative from just keeping it where it is at the TRT dose. And if he didn't say that. He was given a reason to reduce it, but he didn't give a reason, well, if you keep it at this level,
this is going to happen.
Something negative was going to happen. He didn't say that. And that's the kind of conversation I'd like to have with Dr. Bellman, is to ask him, like, what negatively would happen? Because I don't know of anything. And I'm working with thousands of people. So there's that. Maybe when we get Dr. Lee on, I think we're going to end up having Dr. Lee on before Dr. Bellman. But we're working on that too. I've had some messages back and forth with him. He's done some videos too. Maybe we'll highlight one of his videos in an upcoming episode. You're watching the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm Troy Neff. I'm your host. I'm the fucking guy. Look, we're asking for a little bit of help here, trying to grow the show, do more things. We've added another show per week. We're doing 3 shows now a week. and you can see them uploaded on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Each of those days, a new episode is uploaded. We're also trying to increase the people that we have. We haven't done a lot of interviews. That's going to change. We're going to try to do at least one interview a week. So besides that, we've also, what else do we got going on? We got segments going on now, right? We're doing a MAHA segment, Make America Healthy Again. We've got MAGA, Make America Great Again, and our sports, MSGA, because we don't know how else to do it, Make Sports Great Again. These different segments, are a way for us to break it out, for you to be able to watch, if it's not the whole video, for you to be able to watch the things that are most important to you and those particular segments. Share those, share the show. Ask somebody, ask a friend. If you're already subscribed, ask a friend to subscribe with you. Help us build up these numbers and get this out there. This is our goal, is to bring you more information in an entertaining way. And, I am a little funny sometimes, or at least I think so. Thank you very much. God bless. This is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy. So just one more quick thing in our Make America Healthy Again segment. And since we've talked about this with the testosterone, I've had some clients recently who are trying to get help for their wives. And they asked me, hey, what should be included in the blood work? And so I give them a list of things to be included in the blood work. They tell the doctor that, and then the blood work is done and that stuff is not included. And the doctor didn't say, oh, I don't think you really need that. There was no discussion about it. So there's no reason for my client to think that it wasn't going to be included in the blood work. So now he's had to go back to the doctor. Said we didn't have, because everything else was normal, which isn't crazy, but it's the hormones that we specifically wanted checked. And there's no medical reason to deny you that. None. I can only think, this is just speculation. Maybe I'm kind of accusing doctors of this. Here's the reason I think some doctors either will oppose it or just skip over it and not mention it and tell you that should be done, because at least in your annual checkup, if you're getting blood work, what's more important? Why would you not get your hormone levels checked? So why do they not want to do that? And I don't really think it's the insurance companies. I think it's the doctors. And here's my crazy conspiracy theory on why.
Okay.
Because if something comes back not right with those hormones, then they're going to be obligated to help you address it. Okay. They're going to be obligated to come up with some kind of plan or a solution or a way to address it. And they don't want to do that. That's not their area. They don't feel comfortable doing that. And that's fine. They should still do it, but just be honest then and say, that's not what I do on a regular basis. I'm not confident in being able to help you with this, with your hormones. I'm going to send you to an endocrinologist or some other expert, a specialist to address this. It's that simple. Nobody is going to think bad of you for being honest. But when some of you doctors continue to try to address people's hormone issues and you're doing such a fucking shitty job of it, just stop already. Literally every fucking week, I get messages from clients or I get messages online where people say, my doctor has me on 200 milligrams every 2 weeks. And y'all know what I think of that. Y'all know what Dr. Bellman thinks of it. He thinks that's terrible. Now, him and I slightly disagree about the every week, but that's only by a little bit do we disagree, because he also agrees that splitting the weekly dose up to 2 shots is better. But is it better than one? For some people, some people may not notice it if they're doing 1 shot a week. They may not feel a drop off, but it can't be denied that somebody who is splitting that dose to twice a week or even microdosing is going to have more stable levels. So there's no doubt about that. So is it a must? No, but it is better. And he knows that, and he's shared that. That's an area where we had a slight disagreement because I'm a little bit more adamant about splitting the dose. Like, why not? You have nothing to lose by splitting the dose. But more importantly is, why are men and women struggling still to get their hormone levels checked? Why are doctors pushing back against that when we know how important it is to somebody's overall health, their mental health, their well-being, their ability to maintain their weight, add muscle, lose fat? That's all hormones, people. It's all hormones. Diet is absolutely important. But after diet, what affects you putting on weight is probably going to be how your body deals with insulin. So again, that's why we need to know this information. That's why a doctor needs to take this into account, is what are your various hormone levels and what are they at, and push back. Demand the health care you deserve, and especially you guys. So that's it. That's our Make America Healthy Again segment. Yeah. All right. So we're going to go on, and we have our Make America Great Again segment. And we are going to start with, well, let's start with something fun. That was really cool. I've actually, the last couple of years, I've actually watched wrestling more than I have in the past. And I was a wrestler myself in high school. Didn't get to, do all the things I wanted to do with wrestling, but loved the sport, still love the sport. And one that actually, I do enjoy watching good wrestling matches. And so I've been watching the college stuff. I watched the Big Ten championships, and now we're at the NCAAs, and I've seen some other big matches this year, Penn State, and, Iowa and things like that. And Penn State's been a powerhouse for a minute now. But really cool was they've been going through the finals this weekend, the NCAA Wrestling Championship Finals. And guess who shows up? Who? Donald Trump. The president shows up at the wrestling finals. Now, I don't know if he's going to be at the Final Four for basketball, but, the dude is a fighter, and he likes wrestlers. He likes MMA, and this is not new for him. So this is not just something he's, casual about. He went during 23, too, during the campaign. When the campaign started, he was there. So this is something he likes. And I just think it's really cool that this president is putting out this positive energy and people are really grabbing onto it. You have some people that are just absolutely crazy. We know those people. But the response there was absolutely fantastic. And then one of the best wrestling matches of all time occurred. All right. You had Oklahoma State, Wyatt Hendrickson. He upset the Olympic champion, Gable Stevenson, 5-4. And this is the heavyweights. So. Yeah, this is heavyweights. This is two big, brutal heavyweights. And Stevenson has beaten Hendrickson before.
Okay.
But Hendrickson, left. I don't know. It's weird. He left for a year and went and tried out for the NFL and was doing NW or WWE, or what's the other one? Is it NXT? Is there an NXT?
There's NXT, AWE.
I think NXT, he was trying to do that. but it really didn't work out, and he had another year of eligibility, I guess, so he came back
Nice.
and wrestled. And a great match,
And then
and
ended
he's
up winning?
losing. 20 seconds left. He gets a takedown on Stevenson, and like nobody got a takedown on that guy the whole tournament, right? And he's also, interesting enough, Hendrickson is also a second lieutenant. So he's in the military.
Wow.
And so afterwards, he saluted Trump.
Celebrates with President Trump.
Yeah. And went up and got a hug from him, wrapped in his, like, look at that, dude. If that isn't, like, I don't care what your politics are, dude. That's just cool shit. And they think it's cool. The Penn State players had nothing but great things to say about the president being there. And for them, it wasn't political. It was just having a president care about their sport and bring attention to their sport, because, you know, they would all like to see the interest in wrestling grow.
Mm-hmm.
And so they look at it from that point of view of, I mean, how many people get to say that they wrestled in front of the president? And this kind of thing too, think of it, it's like the gladiators of Rome, right? You're in the arena, the king is there. Liberals are just going to hate my analogy there, and they're going to hate this. You're missing it. They're going to miss this. I happened to raise my hand, and then I let, oops.
People are going to start rioting after that.
I know. I'm a Nazi. Secret Nazi.
Secret Nazi.
I'm a secret
I love
Nazi.
That.
Yep. That's me. I'm a part of a cult. But really, really cool. And then the chanting. You know, you do have to understand, if Biden walked in there, if he, you know, when he was president, if he had walked in there, do you know what the chant would be? Let's go, Brandon.
Brandon.
Yeah. The let's go, Brandon chant. Yeah. It would not be USA.
US.
It just wouldn't. There's a huge, huge difference. So a great match. They're already labeling it one of the great wrestling matches of all time. And it was a fantastic. When you see two big dudes like this, you're looking at they're 285 plus is the heavyweight division.
285
plus.
And they're wrestling?
Yeah.
God,
these are the
dang.
biggest boys. These are the biggest boys, man. And they're good. But very cool for the president to do that. I think, anyways. I think it's really cool. And got a great response from the crowd. You know, if there had been a little bit of booing, trust me, it would have been reported.
No, yeah.
It would have been
some
reported.
People, they would have said something
But
about
you know, how many beta males and liberals are really going to the NCAA tournament? Not many. No, that's probably not much of a thing. So I had that. And I also, we're going to go back to Tesla and Musk again. I found this. This was a really good clip too. Tyrus talking to Brian Kilmeade on Brian Kilmeade's podcast show, whatever it is. You know, he has a regular show, and then he has other things he does like this.
Okay.
Too. So interesting on this, because they're talking about something, I don't know if you saw or not, but Tim Walz, the vice presidential candidate, you know, with Kamala Harris, has been making public appearances and saying some shit.
Has he?
Because there's no leader in the Democratic Party right now.
As of right now.
Right?
Yeah.
Really, nobody has stepped up. And for some reason, he's trying to fill that void. He just didn't get the message that, dude, everybody thought you were a joke. Literally a joke up there. You didn't know how to handle a gun and tried to pretend like you knew how to handle a gun, and you made yourself look stupid. His campaign, you know, kept trying to portray him as a man's man, and we did not get that vibe. Okay? Just putting on a flannel shirt does not make you a man, dude. Or you're some part-time assistant who didn't really have much responsibility on the local high school football team. Sorry, that does not make you
Qualify you.
a man. Nor does, as governor, putting tampons in the boys' room, okay? People are going to feel and observe you or think about you in a certain way based on your actions, and your actions in no way make us think, oh, that's masculine. No, that word does not come up when we talk about Tim Walz. It just doesn't. But he was trying, and he said some things that, and so has Schumer. A couple people have been saying some things that are really, I'm going to go back to January 6th. During Trump's speech, he said, go to the Capitol peacefully. He did not make insightful remarks. We do have people on the left now making remarks that are absolutely, you can't take it any other way than inciting violence or endorsing violence or encouraging people to do violent acts. And it's bad enough if it's just Joe Blow that nobody knows and just spouting off on the internet. That's bad enough. What it should never be is our politicians of either party. Neither party should do that. But it's not the Republicans doing it. It is the Democrats doing it. Chuck Schumer has been doing it, and he's been called into account. And now Tim Walz. I mean, well, let's just play this and listen to what Tyrus had to say so you can kind of get the idea of what we're talking about here if you haven't heard.
Washed up actor John Cusack, who was sitting there in his basement somewhere between his bunk beds, making an announcement that who's we? Who are you addressing? That we have to go make Tesla owners and Elon Musk very afraid. Now, is that a threat? I believe that's a threat. People don't think that's a threat. I think that's absolutely a threat. They even picked out a date, March 29th. What are you going to do? You're already firebombing dealerships, throwing Molotov cocktails through glass windows, putting graffiti on people in random suburban neighborhoods, let alone smashing their cars when they go shopping. Tyrus, you're here, Fox Nation host, of course, author of Enough Stuff, host of Maintaining Tyrus on Outkick. You see him every night just about on Gutfeld. And he's going to be on One Nation, a career-defining appearance, according to reports, Sunday at 10 o'clock.
That was from the Kilmeade Press, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
And by the way, what was it? Nuff. What did you say? Nuff. What was that?
What did I say?
He
Nuff
gave me a
said.
new cover for a new book. It's Nuff said, but he gave me an idea. He said something else. Nuff. It was good. What was it? Nuff stuff. That'll
Did I
be
say
book
nuff
3.
stuff?
Thank you. You coined the phrase here.
So, Eric, you're just talking to my guests? You're circumventing me?
Eric and I are solid.
All right.
You know, when I filled in for you. By the way, congratulations on the record-breaking numbers that day.
So, Tyrus, what do you think about that? I mean, I'm outraged by this.
I'm as angry as you are, and I think it's good that you're showing this part of your personality because it is ridiculous. It is. But this is the one administration where I don't think this is going to be tolerated. And why is this not a hate crime? Why are they not being? And if it's domestic terrorism, there's a great place called Guantanamo Bay. Like they need to be treated as. And the people who are fanning these flames, they're liable, and there should be lawsuits, and it should be everyday Americans should be like from what I saw, they should be suing the Daily Show who's trying to make jokes out of it, or Kimmel who comes out and they're basically saying it's okay to attack someone when things don't go your way.
Yeah.
Could you imagine when the horrible things that were happening to people on conservatives on Facebook and you made the wrong post, you could lose your job if you stood up against vaccine.
Yeah.
How many of Facebook's buildings were burned down? How many of the owner of Facebook's companies were attacked or no? When we didn't like something, we didn't buy it.
Yeah, Bud Light.
We didn't approve of it. We didn't like it, so we didn't buy it. You do that all day. Don't buy a Tesla if you have an issue with it. But the fact that they're fanning flames, if we were saying that.
Yeah, stop it there
to
for
encourage
just a
things
second.
like.
Think about that. You know, you did have Kid Rock, who took some Bud Light cans that he purchased, and he went and did target practice on them and made that short little video about him target practice on the Bud Light cans. but no person was intimidated. You know what I mean? Nobody ever suggested that because of the whole Bud Light incident that you go to the grocery store and you harass people coming out with cases of Bud Light, or, confront them, damage it. It's just people made a decision to buy Modelo. I guess that's what happened. And that's fine. I think it's stupid. I will do things based on what I want to support sometimes. And, sometimes I have to suck it up. I'll give you a good example. Like right now, Dawn and I have started watching 0 Day, which is a series on Netflix. And De Niro. I think De Niro's a great actor. But personally, I think he's a moron. I think he's went off the deep end. He hasn't been like this his whole life. He's just been crazy. And dude, you got to realize how the fuck old you are, like, to pretend you're a tough guy. Now, I pretend, you could say, well, Troy pretends he's a tough guy. I'm 56 and I'm still in good shape, man. I still can throw hands if I need to. You know what I mean? Or some other thing. I'm not intimidated, but I don't know where these liberals got the idea that they could intimidate conservatives. And are conservatives taking it? Are conservatives that they've approached been pussies? I don't know what's given them that idea. Because the conservatives I know, fuck no, man. Fuck no. They would not tolerate that shit one bit. The conservatives I know, there's look, you got to realize half of your union members are conservative now. Half. Pretty much. So these are construction guys, right? Then you got, people who do hunt. And I'm sure liberals hunt, but there are way more conservatives that hunt than liberals that hunt, and way more conservatives that have weapons than that don't, and the biker community. We saw that during different parts of the election, even going back to 2020 and things like that. Biker groups going to protect people, or at certain events showing up.
Okay,
Yeah. I mean, there is a percentage of bikers that are liberal, but things have changed. I think it's more 70-30, 80-20 now from
in unions.
We don't have a thing, but I have enough in the bike because that was my world for a minute. I know that kind of thing, but there's certainly not people if you see a biker in a MAGA hat, he's probably not the dude you want to fuck with. I'm just suggesting.
Probably not, yeah.
I wore my MAGA hat to the gay pride night, Friday night, and was it last night? No, we went to
Friday.
It was Friday night.
Yeah.
Friday night, like, we've been doing so much stuff, dude. So Friday night, and you didn't even hardly know it was gay pride night. That was like the worst gay pride night ever, if you're into that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they did a little halftime fucked up dance where they brought some cross-dressers out that were mixed in. They did some of this, and everybody's kind of looking at it like, what? But nobody was in the audience was like really dressed up celebrating gay pride night.
Yeah.
You just didn't see it. And then there was a little flash on the board that said it at halftime about it being, and other than a couple other small comments, you would have never known it was gay pride night. Well, Dawn wore her Only Felons shirt.
Okay.
And then I wore a shirt, and I wore the hat. And I did have an issue getting in because I had a shirt on that said Patriots on front.
Okay.
I got the flag, and I got the grunt style logo.
Okay.
And on the back, it has a number 0. And where the name would be, like on a jersey kind of thing at the top, it says 0 F's given.
Okay.
And it's F''S. well, the guy suggested that I wouldn't be able to get in because of the Fs, and I'm like, yeah, no, I've been through this before, and I've gotten in, and then went to the, I did turn my shirt inside out. Then I went into where they have like fan relations type of thing,
Yeah.
and they're like, yeah, we don't care, and I turned my shirt back around. Now on that shirt, that I was wearing my I'm the fucking guy shirt, and it does have the word printed out, except there is the little
Apostrophe or like a asterisk or
yeah,
whatever it's called.
asterisk,
Yeah.
where the U is.
Yeah.
Okay. When it's F's, it's a letter. You can make it whatever you want. Is it implied? But really, who's paying attention? There's nobody has ever said, oh my God, I can't believe you're wearing that shirt here. You know, there's small children around or whatever. Like, it's never happened, ever. But he tried to be some kind of authority, and I was calling bullshit. And then, so I was like, let me talk to your supervisor. Well, I'm a supervisor. He was a team captain. And I'm like, well, who's ever above you? So he gets on the phone with this manager, and he's trying to talk this manager and explain it to him. It's like he's trying to talk him into it that shouldn't let me in, right? Or that I have to do something with my shirt or turn it inside out or whatever. And then he could finally come, and Dawn lit him up. Because Dawn was like, it's the MAGA hat, isn't it? Because it's like, I don't know. He didn't say anything about the MAGA hat. I expected somebody to say something about it since it was Gay Pride Night, that, you know, we're like poking the gay bear or something. Don't poke a gay bear, please. And anyways, he finally comes back over to us and he goes, you're okay to go in. And I just looked at him and just walked away and walked in. I didn't need to say anything else. I thought you were a moron. I basically told you were for it, like, because I'll just go inside and talk to the real people in charge. But yeah, it didn't work out the way that he thought. And it's just stupid. It's something stupid to, how important is that you have to make an issue out of that? Like, that's your day. That's the most important thing in your life, really. That's the thing you want to like make a thing about. That's where security's concerned. That's a big deal. No. So there was there was that with that. But you know, talking about Tyrus, I think he really gets it right and boils it down. And the next part is where he talks about Governor Tim Walz, I believe.
Well, Fox would have us off the air. We wouldn't be on the air.
Oh,
the
yeah.
fact that they're allowed to be on the air and continue to do this just shows how far up.
So I see media. I picked up something I said this morning, and they said, you have Crockett saying this is going to be a great day on the 29th. Do me a favor, take them down. What does that mean? Take them down.
Exactly.
What did Cusack just say? He said, make them scared.
Yeah.
So how is that not a threat? And guess what? They are blowing things up.
Yeah.
They're blowing things up right now.
And not just, and they're blowing. Okay, here's another thing that people don't know about the smart cars, like the Teslas. Those fires are extremely hard to put out because of the lithium batteries.
Great point.
And a lot of fire departments do not have, they're poisonous, and they need a special blanket to put those fires out because they're so intense and so hot that water, a lot of times water's not gonna do it. You have to wait for them to finish burning, which could lead to other cars, explosions, etc. So it's very difficult on the fire department. It's very difficult on the people who are there in the building. You're not hurting Elon Musk. Like, that's the part where you just, it drives me insane. He's not feeling your pinch. His frustration, his concern is for his employees. This is an American company. So he could pull off all this stuff and go build in China or wherever the hell he wanted to do, and it wouldn't hurt him at all, but it would hurt the American people. And then where's their argument? Cusack says all this stuff. Please tell me what your argument is. Please, what is the issue? That he's going to find where the money goes? Or is it because somehow it's connected to you? I think the people who yell the loudest are the ones that we should be putting under the microscope.
Do you think they're getting afraid of Trump? I mean, you think about this. They're not going after Trump anymore, as like they used to.
Well,
they're going after Homan on immigration. They're going after Musk on Doge. Stephen Miller, when he pops up, they're trying to say that Marco Rubio's on the way out and Walt's on the way. But do you notice it went from a guy that was constantly targeted to like they were almost afraid, almost like it's not working. We're making him stronger, so we'll try to get the people around him,
which would maybe get him off his game. You have to understand he has beaten them with the American people. Yeah. They had their moment. But I think it was a necessary moment. They had their small victory getting Biden in the office. And for 4 years, I think we all had to go through that. The frustration, the basically having a country without a leader or a bunch of interns running it. And I think that for everyone gave us perspective. We had 4 years with the Trump presidency and the things that he was saying that you could say it during that time, like, well, maybe he's exaggerating, maybe he's being off. Then we had 4 years of living it. And now he's in and he is a completely different. He's calm, he's relaxed, he's been through it, he's battle tested. He doesn't fall for their traps anymore. So what they're trying to do is get Elon to fall for the trap or Miller to. Now Miller will go there. Miller will go there with you. Yeah, he's a firecracker. But they're trying. They tried it with RFK Jr. at Tulsi. They're trying to get those responses that they used to get out of Trump because when you get those responses, that's the news cycle, and then you don't hear what Trump's saying because the news cycle is Tulsi Gabbard punched.
Right.
Such and such from whatever news source or whatever. So I think that's why they're going after. Plus, they're going after the money. And let's not be stupid. Listen, if I worked at the post office and in my bank account I had $30 million, everyone would be saying I was crooked, right? And a postman makes about the same as a senator,
right?
Maybe a little less. So now we're seeing it. And this is where the money's going to go. And we're seeing where the money went to this, and these charities and all this other stuff that all seem to go back to family members and themselves and always seem to find a way back. So I think that's what the attacks are really about.
So, yeah, I think so, too. So last night, an important moment. It's got to continue. They brought out one of the guys on Laura Ingram's show. Did you see it? And he's a Treasury Special Advisor, and he's with Doge. And they said, what are you seeing behind the scenes? So he sat down with Besant and Laura, and he just said, this is what I'm seeing. This is what he says. He goes, right now I'm at the IRS. And this is what he found. Cut 4.
Yeah, I've been brought in to look at the IRS's modernization program in particular, as well as the operations and maintenance budget. I really care a lot about this country. And this is a huge program that's currently 30 years behind schedule.
30
and
years.
It's already $15 billion over budget. So the goal is to take, the IRS has some pretty legacy infrastructure.
That 30 years. This is like many projects. We've had many projects over the years. If someone would just look up the Big Dig in Boston, which was a tunnel, how many years did that go beyond the original projection of when that was supposed to be done? Oh my God.
These drinks definitely get
These drinks.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm blaming the drink.
Burping on the side over here for some.
Yeah, it's better for you. You're not on camera. But the Big Dig, and we could probably ask Chat GPT, how many years did it go past the original date, and how much was it over budget in dollar terms? Because it'll just give you another example. I'm just trying to give people an easy example that they can picture in their head to compare with what he's talking about with the IRS and wanting to upgrade the system. And I don't know what you're upgrading the system to, but if you're talking about technology and you're 30 years behind, you're probably more than 30 years behind, because whatever technology you were originally going to upgrade to, that's no longer relevant either. If it was supposed to be in 5 or 10 years, yeah, look at that. There's your Big Dig. This is the federal government. 9 years longer than expected. The original estimate, $2.8 billion. Final cost, 14.6. That's the government.
$24 billion, including interest and debt.
Dude, it's no different than a little project that Trump used to look out of his window in his office tower in New York, and he saw the New York skating rink, the skating rink in New York. that it was shut down, that it was garbage. He came in, found a developer. He got them to let him take on the project and had it built and people skating on it within a year. And the local New York City government had been trying for years and years. And it was a simple fucking skating rink, dude. That's your fucking federal government. And now with what they were just talking about, what Secretary Bessent was saying, and the IRS, and this was a guy that from Doge working on that, but same thing. They're way behind in technology. And now the problem is, how do we take this old information that's so far behind now? It's one thing to take information when you're 1 or 2 versions away and convert it to the latest version. But when you're 20 versions away, that shit doesn't just transfer easily because of the different coding and things that were in there. It's just not as easy to move over, because that era was DOS. Remember, I've said that. That was your DOS era. This is totally different now. And how do you do that? And that's the efficiency. Everything is not about that something's bad or that there's bad people or some type of abuse. This is just not efficient. This is just not doing things efficiently, or having somebody who could come in and get through the red tape to get things done in an efficient manner. But now that's the focus, because that's the number one job, is to make it more efficient. So you get everybody working together. It can get done faster. That's the way that it should be. Can we go a little bit further and see if we can get the part? I'm trying to get to the part with Tim Walz. It doesn't exactly tell us. Just
Very similar to where
go further.
Mated service.
City and masculinity.
Okay, just really
Been
further.
particularly rough on you the last week.
Oh, I didn't see that. Has it been?
Yeah. Yeah.
Usually you guys pick that out.
There was some shots.
So 15 years, I've never remembered Democrats fighting each other.
Yeah.
And now it's nonstop. And it was happening last night. But this one in particular stood out to me because the only really tough guy that I know is Tim Walz. And finally, he's doing a podcast with my other idol, Gavin Newsom.
Yes.
And they were able to show their toughness last night, cut 15.
But I think this notion of toxicity and masculinity needs to be separated. And I think it's been conflated. And I think we're going to have to work on that a little bit. And I think there is a crisis.
I think some of us scare them.
men.
I think I scare them a little bit. Why they spend so much time on it. No, I'm serious, because I can fix a truck. They know I'm not bullshit on this.
Yeah.
I'm not putting this in people's grill. I don't know if my identity is not hunting. My identity is not football coaching. My identity is not, a beard and a truck.
So he is a real tough guy, and Republicans are afraid of him. Republicans.
Yeah,
Have they expressed this fear?
Listen, I'm going to say it. I don't think any of the Republicans or Democrats that we see that any of us have any physical fear of. It's more of when maybe get their hands around our wallet, we get a little nervous. But
I think afraid that he's not going to run.
But Waltz, I'm my identity. You push this down our throat. Your team tried to run you as the man's man.
Right.
There is sot after sot after sot of them talking about how he's a man's man and he wears flannels and he's outside. And yet, hey, listen, you're the one who took the dumb video holding a rifle like you never held one before. I'm the one who put him on blast when he was changing a clean air filter with another clean air filter in the truck. Tim, baby, if you got anyone to be mad at, look in the mirror or look at your team. They pushed who you were, and that's not who you are. It's okay to be a sensitive guy. It's okay to be, I volunteered coach for a little while, but I'm not a sports guy. Listen, your Madden performance against AOC gave us all the information that we needed. You even said a pick six was well planned and timed. Bruh, you were phony, and you tried to trick the American people, so the only person you should be mad at is yourself.
So he's not aware.
Wouldn't that be awesome if
He's
that
not
was a
aware
play?
of what a
If that was a play, you could just, let's do our pick six play this time. Like, that's the thing.
Pick six plays crazy.
Oh, yeah. He was just an idiot on there doing the video game thing. But just him being a tough guy, nobody gets that he's a tough guy. And a bunch of people have come out now, including Tyrus, and, offered challenges, to get in the ring or wrestle or whatever he wants to do if he thinks he can he can do that. But it's, again, this, I don't know why they think it's a good idea to challenge us this way. And it's them making the challenges, them making the threats, and we're not standing for it anymore. And I don't want to stand for this bullshit that's going on now. I don't want to stand for, if there's an announcement that these people are dumb enough to announce that they're going to be at a Tesla dealership somewhere on a certain date, depending on the state that you're in, but like here in Arizona where we have open carry, I think we need to show up. I think some of us need to show up and just make sure, like, this is not going to be a thing. This is not something you get to do. We are not going to let this crap that happened in 2021 happen again. We are not going to let you burn cities or take over police stations. That's just not a thing. Sell your Tesla stock. Sell your Tesla. Don't buy a Tesla. But threatening people and their vehicles is just, that's the line you can't cross. That is totally unacceptable. And if Republicans were doing that, it would be unacceptable as well. It just not. So that's pretty much what I have for that. One last thing I do want to do is pull up, if you don't mind, pull up the promo you made for Maurice Greene. We're going to do that quickly because I think that's important. Yep, there's the one. This is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your All right. Host Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy, and we are pleased to announce coming up on the show, we are going to have Olympic gold medal champion Maurice Greene on the program.
You can try, but I won't stop, won't stop. Won't stop. Won't stop. Won't stop. You can try, but I won't stop, won't stop.
Super excited. Legs, so be on the look what he can squat. Sprinters always have great legs. Crazy. So super excited. And, well, we didn't really know, but again, thanks to my friend Marlon Jones, who's making this happen and got us into contact with Maurice Greene. But he's here. He's here in Arizona, not very far from us. So instead of us doing a recording, remotely, he's coming in. He's going to be sitting in the other seat, and just love that we're able to do that and have that. And even more so, I mean, it's so cool to get to interview him and talk about his life and his experiences with failure and success. We're also going to get his thoughts on what he thinks about the current state of the sport and women, men in women's sports, men competing in events, even at the Olympic level of men competing against women, and get his thoughts on that as well. Looking forward to that, but even more so to actually get to meet him in person, like
it's going to be really dope.
It's kind of cool. Like everybody can't say that. Like, I know, like, because I can just kind of tell enough about him from talking to Marlon and the stuff that I've checked into and know about him. He's pretty humble guy.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like super. So he just thinks he's a regular guy. Like there ain't nothing regular about what you did, bro.
Definitely not.
No,
definitely.
You're a legend. And okay, you don't have to toot your horn. We'll toot it for you.
Oh, yeah,
and we're happy to do that. It's going to be so cool to have him here. So we're going to actually do the recording on a Sunday, March 30th, right? And then that Monday, which is the 31st?
31st.
The 31st, it's going to be put up where y'all will be able to watch it. So if you go to any of my social media, for the most part, I think I have it up on all of them: Facebook, Instagram, X, I'll check and make sure. And TikTok, as I have a little post up there about this, and would appreciate y'all doing whatever you can to, reshare this. Just share this, repost it, share it, whatever. Get the word out, because I'm going to try to show off my skills.
Hell yeah.
They've been a little bit rusty, and we've done a few good interviews, and we appreciate those that have been on the program. Friends, Tony's been great. Bob was awesome, and Ron Harris was fantastic for us bodybuilders. But we are trying to more consistently. Our goal is to have more interviews. And our goal right now, starting with this one, and we'll try to keep it going after that, is to do more than to do one a week. And how about this? There's a chance we might be able to that he's also coaches with somebody who I don't know if you're familiar with. Are you familiar with Vontez Burfict? Okay, he was a badass linebacker. I'm pretty sure that's how it's pronounced.
You said Vontez?
No, it's Tez. Like, if you put some of that in and put Cincinnati Bengals, it'll come up. Yeah. The Bengals are an E, but that's okay. Bangle is you put that on your wrist. Sure.
Oh, I'm under the news. That's why.
Yeah, there you go. I was right. Vontez Burfict. He is like the most hated Bengal by Steeler fans of all time. Like
Okay.
most hated.
All right.
So that's there's a chance we might do that. That would be cool too, because being a Steeler fan, like I'm still going to be cool with the dude, just to talk about that rivalry and stuff, how cool that would be. But this dude was a hitter, but just like some of the Steelers linebackers, sometimes they laid into some people, and sometimes penalties were called. Same thing here. So some people have made accusations of not being real clean, but the truth is he just was a beast too. That's part of the truth too. But it was a big thing with him and the Steelers and Steeler Nation. So that's one we're working on too. So this just is opening the door, hopefully, to so many other things and people, athletes, and we're, our goal is to get some politicians on the show to, let's get into the issues and what are they doing? What's their viewpoint? Where are they going to take their stand? Even Democrats. I have no problem having Democrats on the show. None at all. And we're going to have a legitimate conversation when we do. It's not going to be me being, antagonistic or an asshole. That gets nobody anything. We should be able to, even if we extremely disagree, we should still be able to find a way to have a conversation, or both be able to express ourselves and be heard. If you're not willing to listen to what somebody you disagree with, if you're not willing to honestly listen to their position, especially if they're willing to share why they feel that way, then the person making the mistake is you. The person making the mistake is you. We don't want to do that. All right, that's what we got for today. This is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy.
Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say. I got them picking up the pieces. That to me, you really playing with your life.